There are definitely times in Hollywood when you can tell that everybody got together and made a decision to start making the same exact movie, but slightly different. This year, we've already had a film about how we got Tetris. Currently in theaters, there's a film about BlackBerry and how that came to be. And this is the story of a scrappy team, very, very underdog. It's very much a thriller. You're at the edge of your seat. Will this happen? Will it? But this is there. It's about whether or not Nike will be able to convince Michael Jordan to sign with them and get a shoe deal. And let me just tell you, I was just right there, the edge of my seat. Hey, if you're at the edge of your seat, click that subscribe button and let's go on this journey together. Let's let's run this journey, because apparently Nike makes running shoes too. That's what I learned in this film, as Ben Affleck yelled at me multiple times. Yes. So, Air is the newest film from Ben Affleck, which is interesting because I actually think he's a terrific director. So I'm down. I'm down for it. And it also co-stars him, and it stars his BFF, best friend for life, Mr. Matt Damon, plays Sonny, who is working at Nike, and he's a basketball guru. I don't know. They keep asking him what he does, like what is his job, and he's like, I can't define it. I don't know I don't know how to tell you what my job is. It's this. It's just basically he goes around and he's trying to find the next phenom to help Nike actually start a basketball line, because they're not known for basketball shoes. In the early 80s, they're known for running shoes. And they've made a lot of money based on that, but they don't think there are people at Nike that don't believe that there's any money to be had in basketball shoes, which is hilarious now when you think about that. But so Ben Affleck plays Phil Knight, who is the OG at Nike, the guy that used to sell shoes out of the back of his car before Nike went public. Jason Bateman is sort of Matt Damon's boss, I guess. I don't know. It's really hard to say if Matt Damon has a boss other than Ben Affleck in this film. I don't really know where he falls. He works a lot with Jason Bateman in this film, I should say. This film's pretty stacked, with a stacked cast. I mean, Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans, and of course, a lot of people have made just a ton about the lovely Viola Davis. And all this made me realize is that Viola Davis has become like Meryl Streep, where she can do these little smaller roles and people just go, my God, can we get this woman an Oscar? Please. And it's like, I don't know that that's her best role, but that might be one of the 5 best supporting performances of the year. She's like transcendent, and she just like walks in and she's now got that air about her where she just starts speaking and everybody just sort of stops and they're like, what did she say? Viola Davis. Viola's speaking. And then they're just like, Oscars, give her one, must nominate. So it's not a very showy performance for her, which in showy performances are usually the thing that get anyone nominated. I mean, it's why Ana de Armas has an Oscar nomination. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she will get an Oscar nomination from Air. I don't know if this film can sustain all the way through Oscar season. I know people like it now, but my God, there are a lot of films that need to open for the rest of the year. So the people who have been predicting Air, I feel I feel kind of bad for you guys because a lot of things need to go wrong in order for Air to, in order for like Matt Damon to get Best Actor and Ben Affleck to get Best Director and stuff. It's I like the film, but working against it is the fact that we all know how it ends. That was a joke earlier. At no point was I like, oh my God, is Michael Jordan going to sign with Adidas? Like, I was never like, I was like, plot twist. Plot twist, guys. Michael Jordan signing with Adidas. um, no, I just, I mean, if you don't know what an Air Jordan is, I blind or not, like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you in life if you've never heard of Air Jordans. Like, if you just don't know what that is. If you're like the one person that comes into this film and you're legitimately like on the edge of your seat, welcome to Earth. Hello. Please check in at some sort of I don't know, immigration services and let them know what planet you're from as soon as possible. um, yeah, it's I know this film came out of the lovely the Blacklist, which is where they find it's sort of like this kitschy script thing where a lot of good scripts have come out of the Blacklist. Like unpurchased scripts that are floating around, people have read, nobody's bought, and then they buy them. Basically, I don't know how else to describe the Blacklist. It's close enough for purpose of this film review. And yeah, it's very it's dipped in 80s culture, meaning the soundtrack. First, I feel like the soundtrack, if we still lived in a world where things were released and we were buying physical media, I feel like this would have done really well. I feel like this is one of those movie soundtracks that would have popped and people would have been like, ooh, this compilation, I gotta get this sweet music in my car to jam to. Nowadays you can just like write down the songs and put them into your Spotify list. You don't even need the soundtrack anymore. Yeah, but it's got some deep cuts there, so that was cool. And I don't know, it's a fun movie. It's a lot of dialogue, so that's a plus for us in the blind community because it's easy to follow because it's just people bouncing stuff off of each other, and moving forward. And it also moves forward in like sort of a really easy to understand sequential order. It's like back when I reviewed Argentina in 1985, which didn't even have audio description, and I had a really hard time explaining how a film that only had dubbing, how I could still recommend it even without audio description. I was like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but the film actually kind of explains itself. It's laid out in such a way where it'd be really hard to not be able to follow it because there's always a character that's explaining what's happening and what needs to happen next. So it's like it's telling you, it's really making sure that you understand what's going on. Like it's really important to the people who wrote this film that you understand what's going on, and that's kind of what happens here. As Matt Damon, just as he's going step by step of the process of how he got Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. Oh my God, spoiler alert! But I shouldn't have to do that with this film. So, you don't really actually see Michael Jordan in this film. The kid that plays Michael Jordan, the actor. So it's not, obviously it's not Michael Jordan. They didn't de-age him, but he is not the focus of the film. In the scenes in which it should be him, he's like, sometimes he's turned away. The focus ends up being on Viola Davis. There's a lot of things that they play with to try to really downplay that this is not a film about Michael Jordan. This is a film about Air Jordan, not Michael Jordan. I wonder if they make a movie about his clone, though, how much Michael Jordan will be in. Anyway, so I like the film. It's good. Audio description wise here, I mean, we got some solid references that were thrown in there. I got the Tony Romo's. I was like, oh my god, what happened to that restaurant chain? that was nice. I got the car phone thrown in there. I mean, there are a couple things, but I kind of feel like I wanted more, for a film that was clearly trying to be all about the early 80s. I kind of feel like there were some missed opportunities. I don't really know what people were wearing, I mean, maybe everybody was wearing just like a boring black and white suit all the time. I don't know, but kind of feels like the kind of film where I'm sure there was some style. I have no idea really what Michael Jordan's family was wearing at any point in the film. It's just, this is a time when bold fashion choices started happening, and the film itself is actually kind of about fashion when you think about it, because Air Jordans ended up transcending what they were originally intended for and sort of became a fashion icon. So I perhaps would have enjoyed a little bit more of that. A little bit more of the, what are you wearing? That little red carpet type stuff. Just knowing how people were dressed in that time period just immersed me a little bit more. Helped me be immersed in 80s culture. Because all I can think about is, that's Matt Damon's voice, that's Ben Affleck's voice, that's Jason Bateman's voice, that's Chris Tucker's voice, that's Viola Davis's voice. So I picture them all as sort of like the most recent time that I saw them, and not the 80s, I mean, obviously. It's not 1984. So yeah, I would have gone that route with that. But otherwise, it's fine. I think there are a couple times when the audio description sort of helps and nails it. There's a time when they're actually sort of designing the first pair of Air Jordans. I thought the audio description did a really solid job in that scene. So there's also some scenes where they're going over like footage of Michael Jordan playing college ball, and Sonny just keeps rewatching this one play over and over. That scene's well done. So there's some parts of it. It's funny when you put the focus on certain things and when you choose not to put the focus on other things. You kind of have to take a step back and go, so what are people supposed to take away from this film? What are people going to take away from this film? What did Ben Affleck want us to take away from this film? And I think the answer to that last question was, Ben Affleck made quite a concerted effort here to make sure that he didn't use modern music to represent Air, and that he purposefully tried to transport us back to 1984 to make us feel like we were in the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens. Anyway, unfortunately there are no Hamilton cast in here, so that was just me on the fly with my Hamilton. I like this film. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know that it's not my favorite Ben Affleck film. I'm sorry. He's already just set the bar too high for himself. This is not The Town or Argo. It's not. But it's a good film. It's not going to be in my top 10 for the year. There's just no, I would have to stop watching movies at this point for this to be my top 10 for the year. But I think overall, it's really hard to find a flaw with the film. It's going to be one of those films that I give an A to, but then at the same time, I just don't see myself going at the end of the year. Yeah, I feel passionately enough about this film where, yeah, it's in my top 10. Like I like the film. I recognize that beat for beat for beat, what Ben Affleck did was that he laid out a good film. However, I can't honestly look at this film and say to myself on any level that it is a truly exceptional work for anyone in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the best acting from Matt Damon. It's not the best acting from Ben Affleck. It's not the best acting from Viola. It's not really anyone's best. It's just Ben Affleck did what he does, which is he directed a really actually great movie. And it swells, and it makes you feel everything, all the feels. It hits the nostalgia button. It does everything it's supposed to do. I can't come up with a single thing I didn't like about this film. Nothing. There's not a damn thing I didn't like about this film. But yet I know that when I'm coming down to a top 10, it's not going to be there. Last year I gave more than 10 A's. This feels like the kind of film where at the end of the year I don't have enough passion. There's not a fiery, like, oh, I have to have more air in my life. You know, I don't know how many more times in my life I'll watch Air. But I appreciate it right now. And it's funny that my two favorite films of the year, the only two films that I've given A's to so far, are both Amazon films. So Amazon, keep it up, because you're the only studio that seems to be doing it right now. So I'm gonna give Air an A. I got nothing but love for this film. I don't know that it's deep love, and with all the films that are supposed to come out for the remainder of the year, I don't know. Awards potential, I have no idea. I would say very little. It does have a strong cast, though, so who knows? It feels like the kind of thing that could surprise SAG. You know, like Air is nominated for Best Ensemble. Look at that. Weird. It has a really deep ensemble. So, like, I didn't even mention Chris Messina, or I'm sure there's some other people, too. But, anyway, that's it. Enjoy it. Air. It's on Amazon right now. You can click it. It was in theaters. Now it's available for you to watch whenever you want, if you have a Prime Video subscription. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. You can also go to Instagram or Twitter and follow me at Mac the Movie Guy. You can go to my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. And it'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will review something else for you guys, and see you on the other side.